Drebber. Yeah, I'll fix that. Oh, you're not printing? I'm going to fix them very shortly for the herb market. Oh, I thought since Susato was back, we'd get dialogue from her now, so... That was rather abrupt. The pull of the herb market must be strong. Don't mistakenly put your feet into the fire. You suffer terrible burns, you know. I worry sometimes about how Susato-san sees me. My eye is always drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sean's line is using as a coffee table. Isn't it where Iris keeps her very important papers? It is, so you'd think they'd treat you with more care, really. But on the other day, I saw Mr. Sean's kick it. Oh no! I suppose something must have been frustrating him. I seemed to mistreat the furniture. Was it damaged? The chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes. Oh dear. That is a painful tale. I actually got in the other day. The metal bars that move when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow, and that made Iris angry. It's now hurt him. You're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Iris's pretty little teaser is a way of telling me that I need to tidy my desk. I'll miss Naruhodo. I do everything for me at times. So is that yes or no? Move. On 3rd October, the Great Exhibition featuring Crystal Tower. I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Has it? I just shut my brain down so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Miss Naruhodo. There you are! I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long. Oh, Inspector Briggs, I see you're hard at work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met. What's for the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentleman so loyally at your side. Oh! I thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. Might be a bit rough around the edges, but you're still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right, well, that's the only trainee's domain. Alright, get over Gina. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. We're giving her traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got a detection bug, if you ask me. Oh, she did used to be a pickpocket. Yep, I don't think she'll follow my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. Time for me to say toodaloo to London. Yes! Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I have no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along. Not likely. But you're welcome to try. If you don't mind the trip to France, that is. To France? I'm working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. I don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her in London. Who knows what will come of her? I suppose he's worried she'd slip back and slip her hands into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Miss Narrow. I think he's worried about the reaper. Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Jackson's mind too, is it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I gotta keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Alright, did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again? So you heard that, did you? Did you? The Reaper attacked. It's the kingpins of the criminal overlord generally managing to escape conviction in the Reaper's trials, and this isn't the first time their henchmen have tried to attack Lord Benzique as a result. That's unknown. What do you think, if that's how the justice system works in England? There must be dark forces at work. Oh, come on! I wanted to see if Susato would react to it. That did happen while she was... It did happen recently, after all. Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable detective diva. Alright, you're the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. Suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, have you? Give me a ring. Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's not so lovely Inspector Jackson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Investigating the scene. Gina? We were actually hoping now we can investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around there, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with my new friend there. Yes, Toby. The machine that exploded must be at the top of these stairs, I presume? I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind... Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh. It's like I told Ollie yesterday, even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What do they call it again? The Forensic something? The Forensic Investigation Department team. Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one, yeah. Isn't it the case that the Special Dispensation has been lifted? Yeah, I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig over, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart. Perhaps. That's the one. Apparently he's always watching the time or something. So our Lord Strongheart expressed permission, we can investigate on the stage. It was great, wasn't it? I had the right laugh. It was a new one on me now. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, I know those made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. Watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. Dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Miss Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for. He's not have to do the impossible. What do you mean? You're supposed to arrest the other cove, ain't you? And in time for tomorrow. You know, the dodgy engineer. What's his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? Enoch Drebber. And that's the one, yeah. So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. It's putting too much on the boss if you ask me. He says it's giving him gut ache. Oh dear, but I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck. Saw a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch out nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry? Hmm? You know, that Scotland Reaper was always glugging down glasses of that blood-red flonk. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. He's always had it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Thought he would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. He'd hardly Reaper's apprentice and a detective's trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a choice glug demigod, you're equally badly off with both. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Barely put that on the bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard is dead some finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be new clues to go on. So let's start. There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all. Where did you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Otto. Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... how did they put it? Oh yeah, a bonafide detective. Sorry. I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby. Or Senior than Inspector Brixton, see? Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? Police recruit dogs now? I've heard that they're always being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as happens. And her undergarments have been freshly laundered from nothing comes that. Yeah, stop talking now. Haha. That's nothing compared to this little fellow, Odo. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, you could chase us into the other side of the world. What? To the other side of the world? I mean, you can swim? Miss Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Odo, there's gonna be more and more dogs doing that bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right. Right, one of these days they're barking orders out a lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina, I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby is Britain's first consul. I found him down the East End the other day. So I just chucked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Jeannie, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? Children and to animals. Is that him? Or is that the coroner? Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Songhart? I wonder, I've never seen her before. Scythe. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh, you mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Our advanced teachers in Whitehall as we speak are giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is just really to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will be going to deal with that scrap metal in no time. Scrap metal now, is it? Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Scythe, Scotland Yard's esteemed Chief Coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Osmond. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Right. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 49 seconds of my time. Today's not looking quite so spectacularly late anymore. Converse. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it is imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything else offered. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now, unofficially of course, to pave the way. At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results from their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose creation of a full-scale forensics division. Once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine. The criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, protect our honor and our future. Look in those eyes, he means every word. Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikatoga. Oh, yes, my lord? My father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Sunlight? With Professor Mikatoga, I mean? It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikatoga very well. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a masked murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty, is that right? You Japanese are thorough lots. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zeeks, was murdered, it was just after young Baroque had graduated from the University of London and become a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumours quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Baroque Van Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Oh my word! So, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, it's the ghost of his brother? Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. That was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago now in fact. Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young promising judge. The punctiliousness punctilious. What? What I said before even a word. The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinner's, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Syfe was also there, and as it happens. And then Dr. Syfe knows my father, does she? She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh, perhaps father wanted a reason to get away? What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time. Oh yes, Lord Songhart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains if possible. Are you well versed in science? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject I owned until recently. Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Syfe's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you! Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls. We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord. Move. Why that was given to me? Then There we go. Gina? We were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's, Huh? Actually, we've just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. Eh? You what? You met him? That's when the boss was called to go and see him. He waited 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart's given us permission to examine the scene as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. If it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really would be tragic. Alright then, let me to stairs, off you go. Thank you, Gina. October 23rd. Oh nice, so this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. Yes, that's right, or rather it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. What extraordinary lengths Professor Herving went to in order to obtain the research grant. No, the professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It is amazing though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. If you're right about that, you'd never see such grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh look, is that... He's suspended, yep. So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mr. Sato? Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We'd do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? You mean Lord Strongheart? Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we like. She could have been at the center of the explosion here. I wonder better still will. What a terrible explosion must have been. And still girders are buckled and twisted in the blast. One they called a birdcage was right in the middle of it all, just here. And look, Miss Naruto, that metal grill on the floor. This does there's nothing to open. It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? This wasn't here yesterday. Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air. That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Hairbrain said in court, it's made of wood. More precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. That's why I'm beginning an explosion and then falling from a great height. It's relatively unharmed. A wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Miss Naruto? I'd understood that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. Suppose I must have brought it back here when they finished their work? But sadly, not with the body inside it. No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still. This is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for a trial. The birdcage from the machine has been entered into the court record. I hear that riding the Ferris wheel is a romantic outing among young London couples. I think the romance would be slightly spoiled by the abject terror, personally, but I'm not a Londoner. Are you a little scared of heights, Miss Naruto? It's not that I'm scared, not at all. It's just that staying on the ground seems so much safer. Perhaps I shall have to ask Iris and Mr. Shums to accompany me on it in that case. God, this game is shipping those two. That line was pretty much shipping Inosuke and Susato. When you put it like that, part of me does want to give it a try. Oh dear, it is complicated for you, isn't it? Inosuke, I think she's trying to admit that she has feelings for you. Oh, isn't it exhilarating? All this different architecture from all corners of the world. It does make you feel a bit like an explorer, doesn't it? I know it's all subjective, but the onion-shaped roofs have rather caught my attention, personally. It is very subjective, isn't it? Japanese buildings with their wood and paper construction have excellent ventilation. I realise that British buildings being made from brick and stone are very strong and long-lasting. The more you know about how things are done in other countries, the more you understand your own, I feel. Oh yes, I do agree with you then. But I can't help wondering what an onion does for the roof of a building. I mean, I suppose it's playing on my mind because I don't like the taste of onions. You really alternate your taste in vegetables to take your taste in roofs, Miss Naruto. Yeah, that's an annoying habit. Least approachable man in the world winner, 10 years in a row. Be strong, Miss Naruto. Your country and your assistants stand firm behind you. Lord Van Zeeks? What? Well, beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently, Nippon is unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Ah, well, the thing is... Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. Ah! Never mind. State your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zeeks about. At least what that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. Ask away, Miss Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try. I'm not getting personal straight with me. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. They're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So I was just wondering. I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but we'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us. Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Though it appears he really had that black monocle at the time. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? What is it about Lord Van Zeeks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. The photograph of Drebber has been entered into the court record. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand? Lord Van Zeeks? You Nipponese always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. I thought that was an eye patch when I learned there was a monocle. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? Is something funny? And that's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then? Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? You're too kind, Dan. Are you going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident? As it happens, Lord Van Zeeks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tussauds Museum of Waxwork by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I featured one of these places for public scorn. Of course the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork? Wait, you mean... Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I wasn't aware of that. He's as wise as a sheep. Kazuma. I can enough guarantee because you can tell from the posture. And the file requested for a trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright? Who is this man, Miss Naruhodo? Lord Van Zeeks' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. Lord Van Zeeks, may we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Kazuma-sama! Kazo? Huh? I don't believe it! Your posture, your presence, it can only be... It's here, isn't it, Kazuma-sama? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure, as if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you? Can it really be you, Kazuma? Wait! Well, if it is him, he's in a... Well, whoever it is, he's in an amnesiac state. And in which case it would make sense it's Kazuma, because he bashed his head on the wardrobe, as I remember. So even if it didn't kill, it was gonna leave some scarring, in a sense. What's going on here? Your apprentice. What is your interest, my apprentice, exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. He has amnesia? Yep. That pretty much seals the deal. Like I said, a force of that strength bashing against your skull. Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us? Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes. Thank you. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama. You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Miss Naruto? Yes, yesterday in fact, at Lord Van Zeeks' office. I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. We're going to have to leave. Forensic investigation team is due to arrive shortly. If I find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. We could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mr. Sato. Of course. I didn't mean it up. Be nice if you... Change the dialogue a bit. Are you sure you've asked everything we need? No, not converse. Examine. What a shame that the symbolic landmark of the exhibition has been damaged like that. Yes, unfortunately, the birdcage crashed in the most prominent position possible. So God's giving us a warning, if you ask me. Man must travel under his own steam and not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis. But imagine what might have happened if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location. Death toll could have been far worse. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise. Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own steam, and next time bird cages will bring down all of you. Your faith is much stronger than I realized. Well, how do you think I passed the entrance exam for Yuma University? It wasn't by studying alone. Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it at such close proximity with my own eyes. You've really been looking forward to the big exhibition, haven't you, Mr. Sato? Oh yes, when I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck. But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower. I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly. It's a pity you didn't update to say about the amnesia, about apprentice's amnesia. Oh look, a flying balloon. I've never seen one in the flesh before. I can't understand how they can fly and so high up as well. Oh, but think of the view, Miss Naruto. You must be able to see for miles and miles. I do think of it, and it terrifies me. I mean, it would be certain death if you fell out. I'm sure they're perfectly safe. After all, they've been invented by some of the brightest minds in the world. Let's not forget that we know at least one has exploded. I'm sure there are other ways to fly. Here's the scorching on the ground they mentioned. Yes, and there's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident. Poor Professor Headman. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this. Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Ouch, I'm a bad person. Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where'd it go? Looking for this, Odo? When did you do that? I wonder if you've got anything else to show me, eh? What do you reckon? Get that back first, please. Gina, you're messing with evidence. You could get sacked. October. Madame Tuspels. Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that. I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere. That's strange, he should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, I suppose we'll have to come back again later. Whatever's on the other side, man, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you? sign says it's Madame Tussauds, especially it's a bit... Seems you have to pay extra to go inside. More money, as if we haven't... Let's get enough already. It's not my doing, Miss Naruhodo. This one's posture reveals his weakness. Sorry? The killer's stance leaves him wide open for attack. I'm quite sure I could see more. If Susato take down, then it's Susato squad. Right. And if that doesn't render... Well, I just about met with my brain. Back to it then. Oh, what horrifying scene! A murderer caught in the grisly act. I know, and in case you were wondering, there's someone with a big knife that's supposed to be the killer. I don't think anybody would be in any doubt about that, Shirley. Clearly. And don't call me Shirley! And did you know that according to the description, the bathtub at the back has no particular significance? What? Really? I thought it was meant to show how the killer also worked in the bathhouse peddling criminal wares. Or bathed in the blood of his victims. Now that's Elizabeth Bathory. We have a new theory. No policeman isn't here now, obviously. So I can't believe we just happened to be on the jury. I'd understood that London has a population of 6 million people, and yet you do seem to run into the same people disproportionately often, don't you? That is correct, Susato. This is correct. Nope. What? What's he doing? He's... oh my, the whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. And who is this young lady? My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a fine young woman like you sooner. None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in court this morning. Oh no! No! The whole thing, the whole miserable affair. It all happened because I'm in such complete and utter clot. Professor Harebrain? What have you been working on in your cell? Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see? And I simply had to write it down. What was all I had to hand? Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? Ah, no, actually, this is my autobiography. Your autobiography. How I was diddled and fiddled by Albert Harebrain. I found I can represent my old fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So there's going to be a new serial publication from next month. Part 1, no birth, no upbringing. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talk a little more about the case? Oh yes, of course. I've been working with the numbers. I was diddled, I was fiddled by the pair of them. My husband, and by that aloof engineer Drebber. We're not going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm sorry it's come to this. There's really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you're aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. You believed in me this morning, you know. Baroque did. You believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No. Baroque wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution of my trial, I mean. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I got some kind of finishing blow there. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Baroque, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly, which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Baroque insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He is an extremely kind-hearted soul. Or rather was before... What's his name? His brother, I think it was, died. But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with a kind-hearted soul idea? Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start? Sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. Don't know how it's pronounced. I'm 22, nearly, and I still don't know how that word's pronounced. Great. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so infused, he was so emphatic. But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. Our machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, really. But the scale of it wasn't just some small trick, a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it.